Hi, everyone. I am Anna, and welcome to today's message, the 19-word verse from Romans 5:8. But God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. There is a beautiful and miraculous truth found in this 19-word verse. Clearly, what everyone knows: Christ died for us, was buried, and rose again. That is the surface information. But underneath the surface always lies something more. And this verse, as it's written, is like looking at the surface of the ocean. But once you put on some goggles and look underneath, well, something miraculous appears. Now, if you're a saved Christian, well, it's obvious, isn't it? Well, not so fast. You see, when most people see this verse, what they see is what I just said, the surface of the water. Christ died, and in that he's love for humanity. And that is proof that his love doesn't depend on human ability or righteousness. It simply says that while we're sinners, we still understand that he chose to die for us, fully giving grace and mercy despite who we are as humans, full of flaws, failure, rebellion, disobedience, and even sometimes hatefulness. And as our sacrifice, God gave his son as assurance for us, for those that believe, showing that our salvation is simply based on God and not our human efforts. Seems simple, right? Well, I'm going to tell you to just hold on for a moment. I have reason to believe that this verse is misunderstood. So let's talk about it. Why would I say that? Well, people see it exactly as I said it, because it seems to focus on God's love and grace, which is true. But what gets missed is that it says this love is unconditional. No, not literally no, if you look at it, but it does say it is not dependent on our worthiness because he died to save us sinners. What it says underneath these very few words is that love unconditionally is not a feeling but an action. The action of death to save another. This is proof of God's love. Does it mean we're expected to physically die to save one another? Well, no. But it does mean that we have to die in our humanity to find true Christ-like love. And this verse says he died for us physically, but underneath that is an incredible sacrifice. And that sacrifice opened the door for us living in humanity to choose divine love and transformation by letting the world go. That is called grace and redemption. Now, when I was first awakened to Christ consciousness, I was a little bit confused, which is, I have found a commonality between those of us who have gone through the process. You understand that Christ died for you to save you, but you need to know more. It's an absolute need. And that simplicity of it all disappears, and it's replaced by an actual need that is so profound, so overwhelming, that the thirst for it can't be quenched. It's something you can't ignore. And you want to know more about God's love, but it's not on that simple scale. You dive headfirst into the deep end, even if you cannot swim. Because honestly, at this time in awakening, you're still confused and a bit lost, thinking perhaps you really have now lost your whole mind. But what is really happening is that you're being loved while you are at your worst. And that is what it takes to understand this verse. You have to first understand the simple version. You have to find your sinful ways mirrored back at you, realize that you've fallen short of the glory of God, realize humanity is doomed without Christ, and know that even if you are not perfect, his love is so significant that he sent his son to die for us. And once you begin to realize how profound that really is, well, you do something miraculous. You begin to heal from the inside out. And as you find this unconditional love and grace, you see your imperfections and you realize this love goes beyond the simplicity of redemption. You realize that God put such a value on your soul that the perspective of it comes into a very clear view. And then you understand the depth of the selfless sacrifice and the true concept of grace. You come to know we don't deserve God's love or mercy, and we truly don't even deserve to meet that transformation, really. But we're gifted with it. It is God's unwavering and unconditional love that's not earned but received in gratitude and love. It feels within the depth of the water for the hand that reaches down to rescue you from drowning. And it's only then that you understand the powerful truth about God's love and grace. It's only then that you recognize the depth of that love despite all of your own flaws. And it's only then that you can find love within that's so profound that you can't help but share it with others. It literally bursts from your pores. So I will tell you this, the next time that you hear this verse, I want you to think about what I said. This is no simple verse. It is excruciatingly painful and deep. And if you can feel it in your heart, well, this is a reminder to dig a little deeper. There is a beautiful and unconditional love in this verse. There is forgiveness in this verse. There is light and love here in God's amazing grace. There's worthiness and acceptance despite who you are as a human. This is no simple 19-word verse. This is significant, and it is about embracing a promise made so unselfishly that we can never fully understand it, because it needs to be felt and acknowledged as faith and accepted as unconditional love, which is what it truly is and who you truly are in Christ Jesus. In a world where you can be anything, my friends, choose to be love. Love is the answer. If this resonated with you, please like and share my post. And thank you for your donations to my divine mission and for helping me to keep my messages alive. I'll see you tomorrow.